And this next set of videos, we're going to be teaching you how to find motivated seller leads through contacting the owners and the landlords of rentals and for sale by owners. And this is one of my favorite tools. This is something that I did when I first got started in real estate in 2008. Well, when I first went full time in real estate in 2008 and 2009, I was spending a lot of money on direct mail, getting good results from it, but felt like I was throwing away a lot of money and spending a lot of money on this marketing. I didn't need to. So I started contacting landlords and people who had their house listed for sale by owner on Craigslist at the time. Now, Craigslist is, in my opinion, pretty much useless now. It's just a bunch of spam, but we still have students that are doing deals from Craigslist. But what I have always loved doing is contacting the landlords and the property managers who have properties listed for rent. And you may think, well, why? The house just has been fixed up. They're just looking for tenants. They're not looking to sell it. But here's the cool thing about this. This is where you can go and you're going to get phone numbers of actual landlords and property managers that have rental properties. And the other cool thing about this is a lot of these homes are vacant. The other cool thing about this is a lot of these homes, especially kind of when you get to the higher, nicer end price range, they tried to sell the property before but couldn't. Okay. And they're just decided they're going to rent it out because maybe for whatever reason they wanted too much for it. The other really cool thing about this, and pay attention to this because this is money. Gavin and I, every time we do this, we do a thing called 5 leads in 5 days. It's a challenge that we do. And we just tell people, go find rentals that are listed on Zillow and send the owner a yellow letter. And we get students come back saying, oh my gosh, 10 to 20% response rates. And we can't guarantee those kinds of numbers, but you get really, really good response rates when you send the owners of these rentals a letter. Now, let me say something about that. Because a lot of these rentals that are on Zillow are not showing up yet as absentee owners in the county records. So a lot of the most popular forms of marketing are contacting landlords, contacting absentee owners. And how do you know if it's an absentee owner? Well, the mailing address is different than the property address, okay? But if you were to go in and look at some of these rentals on Zillow, I don't know, it depends on the market, 25, 35% of them sometimes less, they will not be showing up yet as absentee owners in the county records. So they're not getting any marketing from other investors. They're not getting any letters or postcards or cold calls. And so when they get a letter from you or text or a phone call saying, hey, do you want to sell your property? They're more likely to say, yeah, I'm interested. Tell me more. And the other cool thing about this is this strategy is really, really good for doing creative financing deals like lease options. And we're going to be showing you how to do that. So Gavin, talk about this a little bit, like what some of the clients that we've worked with are coaching students. When and how does this stuff work for who? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So this is great. If you've already got it, which I'm sure you have, you've probably got Joe's lease option course by now. Okay. And this is going to fit into this strategy perfectly because as Joe just said, there's certain marketing that suits certain deals. And this is definitely a strategy that's going to lean towards the lease option, right? Because if they've tried to sell it too high and they didn't because they wanted too much or they owe too much, you coming in with a cash offer is not going to work. That's not solving the problem or giving the seller what they want. When you can come on the creative side, okay, it's a much better lead for a lease option. So when we do this, not everyone is marketing there, okay? There's a lot more people fishing in the pulling an absentee. Now, I still do that in my business, and I believe that competition's great. You just have to be the best at it in your location to dominate that market. But when you do this strategy and you actually start going after, as Joe said, pulling that list, mailing the owner, and no one else is doing it, your response rates, as Joe just said, we were getting 10, 20% response rates, and that is unheard of. Why? Because no one else is doing it. The mass, I'm talking about, you're probably listening to this going, well, everyone's going to do it that's on this, but I'm talking about the mass market here. They're not doing it. So when you get in and then have them quality conversations with them where you can say, hey, well, maybe we can get to that price if you're interested in renting it to me for a year or two. and then let me buy it. I might be able to get close to the price you want. How does that sound? And if they say, well, yeah, tell me more, maybe, again, now we're edging into a creative finance deal.
Yeah, and this is really big because, they just rehabbed their house. They just evicted a tenant. And this is another reason why these rentals are so good. They just evicted a tenant. They just put a bunch of, $5,000 in to fix the property up and get it back ready to rent. They might not want to sell it at a big discount, right? Because we're making cash offers. But with follow-up over the next 3 to 6, 12 months, they might later on down the road, but also we can offer them the full price that they want if they're willing to do something creative like a seller financing or lease purchase or something like that. So this is money. All right. We're talking about deals here, and a lot of good deals here. And if they don't want to sell their property now, they might want to sell it in the future. All right. And also we're contacting the landlords and the property managers and the leasing agents, because they will that client may have other properties they want to sell. That property manager may have other clients with properties that they might want to sell. All right, so there's a lot of really incredible things in here. So what we're going to do in this video real quick is just going to give you an overview, and then I'm going to dive into other videos in future episodes here where I'm going to show you some really awesome shortcuts. We're going to show you the manual way right now, and then we're going to show you some amazing shortcuts using FreedomSoft that are going to blow you away. So I'm going to share my screen here and show you Zillow right now. There we go. Cool. This is Zillow. And I just went to a search for St. Louis County, Missouri. And, this works in California. This works in Washington, D.C. This works in Amarillo, Texas. Like, it works everywhere. But what I want to show you here is if you go here, you can do a search for sale by owner. Just make sure it's for sale by owner. You could do a search for a particular price range if you want. You can do bedrooms or what. You can do home type. I like looking just for houses. Okay, I just like houses. And it looks like there's none, right? Well, look at here. You got to click on this 45 other listings. And here are 45 properties that are listed for sale by owner. And if you click on any one of them, this is the cool thing about this. You're going to scroll down and see the phone number of the owner right here. And you don't have to cold call them. You can just text them. You can send them a letter and say, hey, I like this house. I'm an investor. Is your price negotiable? Something simple like that, okay? Now, if you don't have enough in your area, click on this button right here, remove boundary, and all of a sudden you get a bunch more. I had 45 before, now I have 186. And let's say you contact all 186 and you still need more, right? Well, guess what? Click right here, the minus button, and zoom out. Now I have 258. And let's say you contact them and it's still, you need more, zoom out again. Now I have 594. Okay. And if you wanted to, you could say, all right, just give me the state of Missouri, MO. I have 572. Okay. So 1 week, I target all 572. The next week, I want to target all of the properties in Illinois. I have 997. All right. The next week, I want to target all the FSBOs in Iowa, IA, 421. So you can rotate through states. 1 week, go after all the FSBOs here, and the next week, go after all the FSBOs there. Super powerful. All right. And so let me go back to St. Louis County here. This is just my county. There's only 45 for sale by owners here. But what if I went instead to the for rents? Click on for rent. And I typically like houses only again. Now, you may be in an area where townhomes and condos are really popular. People ask me all the time, well, why not townhomes and condos? Because in Missouri, at least, they don't sell very well. There's not as many buyers that want for rentals here. So anyway, we can, let's look here, rentals. And I want to do, let's just say 2+ bedrooms. I want to make sure we're not doing any of the really small ones. We got houses only. All right, cool. Look at this. We got 209 there. And again, if you want more, click remove boundary. Now I have 339. And if I still want more, I can zoom out. Now we're going to show you a shortcut later that you can go through. They will go through all these properties and find the owner's information for these and give them to you in a spreadsheet. All right, so let me show you some things here. So let's say this house in Washington, Missouri. This is a great area. All right, they're advertising $950 a month for rent for this house. If I scroll down, look at there's a phone number of probably a landlord, Leo or Roxanne. I'm just guessing by their names. Maybe they're, elderly. This is a house they've owned for years and years and years. It's free and clear. And, maybe they want to sell their house. So I'm going to send them a text. I can contact them through Zillow. I can find the mailing address. Let's just look at this house, for example. I'm going to copy this.
I'm going to jump off for a coaching call.
Yeah, okay. Thanks,
Am I going to affect it? No, we're good.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
All right, thanks.
All right. So I'm going to go look it up here in PropStream. And I can find the property info here. There's two of them, so I'm not sure which one it is. Let's just go to the first one. All right, you can see that NIMS Properties LLC owns it. This is interesting. Normally, I don't see two properties like that. But they're the same owners. All right, so anyway, you can see here all the information. And this is an absentee owner. They live in Marthasville, Missouri. And you can get the address of the owner right here. So you can send the owner a letter. You can send them a text, send them some marketing. So that's Zillow, right? And you can just go through each of these properties that are listed for rent, and you call the owners or the listing agents, the leasing agents, and you say, hey, I like this house on Holtwood Road in St. Louis. Just wondering if you would be interested in maybe selling it. I'd like to buy a house today. I'm looking to buy some more properties in this area. All right. And you can also contact them and say, would your client be interested in selling this property? Do you have any other clients who might be interested in selling their property? So it's just a great way to get phone numbers and contact them. And there are a ton of them in here. There's 348. You could even go, this is sorted by newest, okay? You could even go to the very bottom to the last page and start contacting the ones that had their properties listed the longest. Like this one, they're asking $4,500. This is a great property for a lease option, okay? And if you scroll down, this is in Ladue. They jokingly refer to it as the slums of Ladue, and there is a phone number of Travis. All right. So another great resource for finding rentals is Facebook Marketplace. I just want to talk about this. If you go to facebook.com/marketplace, you can scroll down. You can choose the area that you want to search for. I want to choose within St. Louis, 40 miles of St. Louis. And you can click right here, property rentals. And you can also say rental type. Again, I like houses only, so I click that. And then you can scroll down, and sometimes you get more filterings. They always kind of change this around, which is interesting. And you can say listings from individuals only if you wanted. You could do, let's say you wanted 3+ bedrooms. All right. There's not as many of them, but now you can start looking through here and find a good house. Let's look at this one. This is Ferguson, a good area, actually. It was in the news not too long ago. But, all right. So you want to send a message to the owner of this property. You scroll down right here. Let me move my thing here. And you can send them a message right here from inside of Facebook Messenger. Hey, I saw your property. Sometimes you get the address here. Sometimes you don't. You just know it's in Ferguson. It's an approximate location, so they don't have the address here yet. But you contact the owner and you say, hi, is this house still available? Are you interested in maybe selling it? I'm an investor looking to buy more property in the area. So Facebook Marketplace is really good for that. One more place I want to tell you is gosection8.com. Gosection8.com. If you look into your area, these are where all the Section 8 houses are listed. And a lot of these are going to be houses. Some of them are going to be apartments. You can still contact the apartment owners, but you know what I recommend is you find a house like this. This one is a brand new 3-bedroom house and great looking property. And there is a phone number. Sometimes the person's name is there. Sometimes it's a property manager. But just call them up and say, hey, you know that property you have on Cool Ridge Drive in St. Louis looks like a nice property. You or your client wouldn't be maybe interested in selling it, would you? I'm looking for more property in the area. So you get the phone numbers here. Here's another one. They're asking $8.99 a month. Rami, there's a phone number. Give Rami a call or text him or message him right here. Can you imagine what would happen if you just messaged, 20 or 30 of these every single day, right? They may say, no, here's Alicia. There's a phone number. They may say, no, I don't want to sell right now. But guess what? You're going to follow up with them every 30 days or whatnot. So in future videos here, I'm going to show you some shortcuts on how you can get this data scraped for you. You don't have to manually go to the websites and get the data. I'm going to show you how you can get a couple different services that will get all this information, pull it in for you. But then also you can then put that information into FreedomSoft, and you can send 30, 40, 50 text messages at a time. You can send letters to the owners of this property. So all we have right now is the address of the property itself. What if there was a way we could quickly and easily find the address of the owner and then send the owner a simple letter? This is super easy, guys. And I love this strategy so much because this is how I got started, how I found most of my deals when I was first getting into this business. By just contacting the landlord, talking to them, sending them an offer, and then following up. This is going to be this is a great way to find deals, especially when you know how to do like lease options or something like that, okay? So in future videos, I'm going to show you some more information about how to, what to send to them. I'm going to give you scripts for text messages, for emails, for voicemails, for the phone calls. I'm going to show you the shortcuts, like I said. And I'm just going to show you some real simple things to text them and to say to them that is really, really easy. And when you send the marketing out first, you're only then talking to the ones who raise their hands and express some interest in actually even wanting to sell. Is that cool? All right, guys. So we'll see you soon on the next video.